What is up, watch friends? Welcome to another episode of Talking Timepieces with Tony. I'm Tony. That's Wacko. That's Uku. You can't see her, she's off camera. Today I'm wearing my Rolex OP 36mm green. I love this watch. I really do. I made a mistake on Instagram and put a picture of it, a really beautiful picture of it that I caught in the light. And for some reason, I said it sparkles because of the facets on the indices just sparkle, and I called it a date just. I'm so sorry I did that for anyone that I may have offended. So, anyway, does your Rolex AD sales associate suck, or does the AD in general suck? Let's talk about it. I'll roll the intro.
You're watching Timepieces with Tony. Talking Timepieces with Tony. That's me.
All right, so I've done plenty of videos about how to get a Rolex and just you got to be cool and all that stuff. I've done it. If you haven't seen those videos, I've probably done a few of them at this point. So just go back and check them out. Right? It still applies. It always will apply. Just be cool with everyone, man. But you're gonna get nothing by being an asshole. I tell you this. But there's also the flip side. Is the rep you're dealing with basically an asshole? Or arrogant, pompous, feels like he's above you and he's got you under his little puppet strings, to knowing he's in control whether or not you're gonna get a Rolex or not. And when you deal with people like that, they're very difficult to deal with. It's very narcissistic. It's very, that sort of self, and generally that comes from people who are usually insecure and, don't have a whole lot going on with their own life. So they feel like they can put other people down or feel that they have more power over other people because they essentially have the power to get whatever it is that you're asking them. They're the, but it works on both levels. Again, the sales reps, and depending on how much experience, how old that person is a big factor. You get some young guy, I'm not saying all of them, again, I'm not, but you can get some kid in there that just gets it like, I've got this authority and I'm going to be this way, you know what I mean? Because I've dealt with both, good and bad, young, old, whatever. I've been to a lot of ADs and I've traveled a lot in my time, and I have dealt with like really shitty reps, man, that just like, one time Salt Lake City, I was in Salt Lake City, I've said this before, I think on another video, and I walked into a Rolex AD, and I asked to see a specific watch, and the lady just flat out said, that watch is $13,000, and I just said, I don't remember asking you how much it cost. I asked to look at it, and I just walked out. That was it. You can't deal with people like that. But this is also back then when, there was no waiting list. There was no shortage of anything. You know what I mean? She was just judging me on the way that I looked, long hair, bandana. I was whatever, man. Don't do that. LA especially, man. People, you don't know who the fuck that person is walking into your store. A perfect example, even when I was in Nashville. When Lincoln and I walked into those ADs, they didn't know who we were except for the first one. But, and then just by being cool, we just, developed a really good relationship just like that. It was nothing. Didn't take anything. But having said that, how do you deal with those guys that are cocky, overconfident and insecure because they don't have a big, you got to be cool with them. Okay. Now, if you feel, your gut feeling, your intuition feels that when you walk out of that AD that you're not going to get anything, even if they say they're going to get you something, and you feel like, I don't know, man, I don't buy this, then you've got to look at other options. Certainly, again, if you want to get yourself put on whatever list there is for whatever watch you want, excluding a Daytona, you're just not going to get a Daytona on your first purchase. You're not, and granted, I'll get a comment, oh, I got 3 of them. Yes, I can, and I did. You're wrong. You suck. All right, keyboard warrior, let's go. Or like a GMT Master 2. Batman, Batgirl, Pepsi, whatever, Sprite, you're going to have a hard time getting those watches. You're better off going in for a date just to start or whatever. Submariner, I think you have better luck now with a sub than previously, than a year and a half ago to 2-3 years ago. I think you got a better shot at that. But I would definitely go in knowing what you want, and just be cool with them. And if you have that weird gut feeling that they're oh well, hey, look, I'll see what I can do. I'll keep an eye out for you though, bro. Don't worry, I got your back. And then when you walk out the store, they tear up your number and throw it in the trash, right? You got to keep following up, okay? So it depends on how much time you have, how patient you are. Because I would recommend with people like that, just continue to be nice to them and continue to follow up. Not pestering them so much, but to the point where they're going to go, all right, I want to get this guy his watch and get him out of my fucking life. You know what I mean? You can do it that way. However, at the same time, right now, it is a buyer's market, not a seller's market. A lot of these watches now, there's so many of them on the secondary, gray market or whatever, that you even if you wanted a specific watch and you feel that you have no chance of getting it, you might be better off buying it from a legit secondary market. I'm not talking about Daytonas. I mean, those prices are still up there. They've come down a lot, but that, or a GMT Master 2 or whatever. But if you're talking Datejust or Submariner, you would be paying just a little bit over retail as opposed to 2 times over retail. So again, it really comes down to how much time do you have, how patient are you willing to follow up, and after you've followed up with this guy a few times, or gal or whatever, and you still get that same feeling, then yeah, try another AD, and if you don't have that luxury, which a lot of people in the wherever you are don't, well, my closest AD is 300 miles away, then you're kind of out of luck, you know what I mean? It's a tough one there, right? So but if you're where there's multiple ADs within a certain geographical area that you can travel to, then I suggest calling him or going in and talking to him. Call him on the phone, even send him an email, but I'd rather call him. It's better that be personal. Emails are just so whatever. Let them know what you want, and you're willing to drive down there, you're willing to whatever it is. Again, it's always about being cool, but again, if you're dealing with that guy who's just full of himself and on his own level of whatever, then you might be better off just going to the gray market. So I don't know. So I've personally had a lot of really good experiences, and I've had a lot of kind of like, yeah, I don't know about this, man, and even recently. So and again, sometimes they don't get the watches, you know what I mean? They don't always know what they're going to get, I know this. They don't. It's not like, well, we're going to get this, this, and this. They don't know. A lot of them don't. So even with me, it's like, well, I waited for this, or I waited for this, and this, and I didn't get the call. Well, maybe that watch hasn't come in. So maybe also you got to deal with those guys, those reps that truly don't know, and they truly haven't got those watches. You know what I mean? If you go to LA, the Los Angeles here, and say the Submariner is the hot watch, or it could be a date, could be whatever, then they sell more of those. I know that the Submariner date is the most requested watch at Bindi, but you might go somewhere else, Minnesota, and everyone wants an OP, you know what I mean? And so they get less of the subs because it's not so requested out there, you know what I mean? So that's how it works as well. Some ADs get more of this because that's what the market is, targeting in that area, whereas in this area, that certain watch isn't really that popular compared to, you know what I mean? Like if you're on a Bora Bora or Aruba or whatever it is, the Yachtmaster 2 might be like the most, the most requested watch. Come to LA, the Yachtmaster 2 is not, or if you go to like Nashville, I'm sure it's not, or wherever else, you know what I mean? Go to Hawaii, maybe it's the Yachtmaster 2, who knows, or a Yachtmaster, whatever. So you just, again, you've got to feel out the person you're talking to. And if they're straight up rude or whatever, you know what I mean? Just leave. You know, if you actually feel that that person just straight up being an asshole and being a dick because that's what they are, that's just their nature, then dude, why would you spend your hard-earned money at that freaking store? You know what I mean? Because essentially that's what it is. You're spending your money to get that watch. Why give it to them? And also it depends too. Are you looking for that AD experience? Do you want that glass of champagne? You know what I mean? Does it really matter? Or, you know, going to, I mean, again, I've got my issues with secondary depending on where you go and what you do. I get all my watches from my AD. You know, I always have a great experience there. But, you know, and I recommend that if you can do that, do it that way. You know everything you're getting is completely 100% authentic, legit. Watch hasn't been opened in any way, shape, or form, you know, and whatever it is. But having said that, do you really want that? Do you care? And if you don't, spend the extra money. If it's a one and done type watch, spend the extra money, go secondary, and don't play the game, because a lot of it is a game to the sales reps as well. You know what I mean? Because, you know, a lot of them get a lot. Man, am I just talking around in circles? I'm just sitting here thinking like, okay, I'll just talk around in circles until I think of something to say, you know? Either way, don't let them take control of you and who you are. But at the same time, be cool. Don't be a dick, and, you know, and hopefully you'll get what you want eventually. So the purpose of this video is just to let you know that I am also aware that other sales reps can be very difficult and someone who you wouldn't want to work with. One last thing you could do is, if you go into an AD and there's multiple sales reps, you know, kind of see if you can gauge who you might possibly get along with the best. You know what I mean? Don't just walk up to the same, you know, if a guy walks up to you and is like, yeah, can I help you? And he's, you know, got that arrogant sort of like he levitated over to you, you know what I mean? Then you might just say, no, I'm just looking, man, but thank you, and let him do his thing, and then find another rep, you know? So having said that, I appreciate y'all who like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.